Hey folks, this is Noble Rambler, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Banished in our quickly growing town of Springview. We're finally getting to see some real progress going on. We were working on this pasture for the cattle that we just bought. Let's see, I don't think we're running. There we go, there's the smoke. Look at all the firewood being turned into ash there. And look at all the firewood not in the stockpiles. Aha. Firewood down to 8. We've got to get a good source of logs going. So, we're dropping trees to make some temporary logs. Eventually we're going to get this guy going to start replanting the area. We've got to get this pasture. This pasture's done. Alright, cattle. And let's get a fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4 herdsmen. So fourth herdsman going. He probably could stand to have 2 in each of these. Huh. Well, we'll go with that for now. Now these cattle are walking with a vengeance here. They're definitely getting to their destination. Of course, I'm at speed 5. That probably makes a difference. But we're going to have beef on our menu again. These folks probably haven't had... Well, these folks have never had beef. Their grandparents did from the town that they lived in. But these folks have all been born here now. Alright. We eventually want to get a mine going. And soon. We want to get some coal into our economy. Need to get logs coming in. And we need to get a couple more houses going. I'd really like to do this. And we've got a decent amount of supplies right now, so let's do that. So these guys are next. Pasture is done. Stone house, yes. Stone house, yes. So we need 20, 80, and 48. We can pull that off. Do I need to prioritize them? Is a serious question. I don't know. Meaning these have been in the queue since near the beginning. So they're going to take this over and above any other jobs that have come up in the past. But there are a lot of resource jobs that have been queued up. So whether or not they'll choose these first, I don't know. So let's go ahead and mockingly prioritize this and see if they laugh at me or if they jump right in there and take care of it. Hey, they're bringing supplies over. That's interesting. Let's read this. We've had a trader died and someone took their place. We had a laborer died and no one takes a laborer's place because they are the ones that fill in for all the other jobs. A couple of tools that have been made by the blacksmith that need to be delivered. Eventually a laborer will come by and pick all this up. Or I think even the blacksmith will pick it up and drop it off. I just made 2 more. And 2 more, yep. Blacksmith, well, stuck all those in his pocket. Got a merchant waiting for us. Made 2 more. I want to watch this. Nope. I guess is off to get some more iron or wood. Okay, who is in our trader? And tell me you'll take payment in something other than firewood, because we are out. Trade. More chickens. Well, we don't need any more chickens. We're going to quickly be, up to our eyeballs in chickens. So, we're going to cancel that one. No, we're not. We're going to dismiss that one. And off you go. How are our chickens doing? 33 of 40. Now, 48 eggs. So we're getting eggs out of them. Eventually, I think we're going to see chicken meat listed here. But we've got eggs. Nice. So do any of the houses have eggs? In the homes, 105 eggs in the houses. So they are picking up the eggs to cook with. Okay, good. Sheep, 17 of 15, now 16 of 15. There was that sheep. Got a baby there and a younger one there and there, another baby. Okay, over here we had, I think, 6 cows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still have 6. And we had 10 sheep. We are up to 18 in this pasture. Okay. Logs are low. Another laborer has died. And we're going to see another die-off I'm worried about. Without... let's slow this down. And let's do another... yeah. The kids are 31 in these houses. We may have gone a little too long without coaxing new families to grow. Do we have any houses with only one person in them? That's what I'm looking for. Let's go out over here. There's one, a laborer of 78. Is there an older female to move in with? Or vice versa? There is not. We have 3 bachelors. And I'm pretty sure... Let's see, that's right. We had a boarding home with people living in it. I forgot all about that. Nobody's living there now. And they didn't leave any inventory either. They took it all with them. If we were to coax these 3 out, I'm wondering if they would move into the boarding home. Well, let's try an experiment. That one, we're going to... Okay, so it's the second house, it's the middle house, and that house. Alright, so let's evict them. I want to know if they'll move into the boarding home and make room for, let's see, 3 without a house. Make room for 3 families to take their place. Where are they located right now? There is working. All 3 are here. Okay, so when they got to the end of their job, they reevaluated and were assigned the boarding home. Go ahead and turn the speed up. Oh, it is on 2. Okay, we'll speed this up. They could go for quite a long time before they finally get to the end of a job here. I'm thinking they're headed for... We have a laborer that died of old age. Okay, so all of them have found new housing. So let's go before someone actually starts tearing these houses down. Let's see, we click here and cancel. Actually, let's keep these out here. And this one. And let's see who moves in. Does the boarding home get first priority? It does. So those from the boarding home, I believe, are going to jump back into the houses first. In which case, we just need to get some more houses built. No. The one that just died may have been one of the 3. Okay. So we've got 1 family in there. We need some houses. That's really what it comes down to. And stone, we're doing decent, but it seems like a stone house actually requires more wood than a wooden house. Now, what happened here? We are in early autumn, and this one has really just barely begun. And this one... Huh. You know, I'm going to leave this as a 2 from now on. And we'll see if maybe this one will automatically jump into this one each year and give this one a hand. Because it seems like this field is always... You know, we are 1 house short over here. I bet you that's the 1 house that's short and this person lives in town. That might be it. So, I'm going to take this back down to 2 speed. And where can we put a couple more houses that are close to the farms? Let's see. House. I'm going to go with wood. Okay, one there. We also have herdsmen here who need a home. 1, 2, 3. We'll do that. We'll keep these 3. The stone houses are being worked on. We'll keep these 3 out to keep an eye on. Let's just work on houses for a while. There you are. And let's get our population insured. We're going to see a lot of these 44 dying off, and not a lot of the 14 or 16 taking their place. So, there, 5. We've got winter coming. This one did not get cleared out. Can you get any more? No, you're not the farmer. Is there a farmer left? This one? Nope. Got one more bucket out of that. Okay. So now we've got gatherers died, someone's taken their place. Now we've got all of these farmers available to work on clearing the land, clearing the building spots, bringing building materials in. We've only got 2 builders right now, and I think we'll leave it at that. So 5 jobs. 2 for each house. That's what's going on. So we've got some building going on over here somewhere, I'm assuming. Well, hopefully we will soon. 45 labor, 30 labor. These would build faster. So let's throw a priority across this area and see if that does any good. Still 6 cows. Maybe in the spring we'll get some calves born. Alright, we have a building site. And we're still building up here. Let's go ahead and throw in 2 more builders, but try to keep track of anybody dying. Oh, a bunch of laborers just jumped in. Good. So now we've got some cushion. We've got a trader that's just arrived. Let's head over there. Trader has pepper seeds for us. Pepper. We have cabbage and potato now, so the pepper would be nice, but we cannot come up with 2,500 out of this. We have got to get some firewood going. We're out of firewood. Okay. Well, sorry. Dismiss the trader. We're using all of our logs. I'm backwards, aren't I? Trader. There. There we are. We've used all of our logs to build houses. Can't even do that, really. 16, 16. Well, we do have enough to finish these. Okay, we do have enough logs to do everything. It's low, but the rest of the logs will go to firewood, and we are bringing a lot of logs in back over here and here. Now they're going to work on iron next. Okay, so this should be the first one to complete. So one thing that we need to revisit, we haven't done it since either the first or second episode, where we were curious about the pathing tool. We clicked here and saw that all these people lived in these 4 houses, which was obvious. But here we're going to start to see that different people live in different areas. They still live close to home. Wooden house is done. What I'm curious about is zoom out a little bit. We got an older young couple moved in there. Where do all of these people live and work? So this house works in both. We got both of the herdsmen that live in that house. More families moving in. Good news. Logs is low. Alright, so we'll turn these off. That is strange. Touch these, and they always bounce. Slightly younger couple into there. That's a good 1,200 food. A good burst of population we're going to get out of that. Still lots of food. Most of that is the harvest that just came in. And we still have a young couple. They're getting younger each time. Into there. And we must be running at speed 5. Yeah. The seasons transition really fast at the higher speeds. So, pathing tool. This one. There. So where do these people work? These are laborers. Okay, laborers don't count. So there is the brewer. Okay, one of our herdsmen lives over there. And it also starts to show you the pathways that they take to work. If we had a diagonal road in here, that person would get home faster. So you can use this tool to kind of help you plot out roads as well. Okay. Don't see anything really important to do. Well, we do have a long pathway here. If we were to pop a house over here, there's an idea. What are we going to do with this space? It's too small for another pasture. It really is kind of too small for another graveyard. 17 graves. Good. We're growing. Oh, we could put houses in here, though that's outside of the sphere of influence from our market. I didn't check that here. Forgot about that, because this is supposed to be sitting under here. Oops, that's not it. Wait a minute, did I do something there? That was the herbalist, okay. Okay, woodcutter's out of logs, that's why. Market should sit here, so that we can leave this circle open and not make mistakes like that again. These houses are still going to get what they need, but they're going to have to walk a long distance to get it. I'm not sure exactly how this interacts with being outside of the circle, but it's best to build within the influence of a market. That is, nomads have arrived. So, what do we do here? We still have plenty of food. The only thing we're really lacking right now are logs. Warm clothes, we're more than fine. In fact, let's remember to get more of that into the market. Into the trader, I mean. So warm clothes, we've got 120, 130 out there, so 170. So let's take this up to 150. 140. We've got new migrants showing up. Tools. Let's see. I'm trying to decide here whether there are certain things that we don't want to sell. Tools require iron, which we don't have an endless supply of right now. We never will have an endless supply. Iron tools, 197. Well, until we get firewood going, we can go ahead and use that. But eventually you are going to run out of iron. You're going to be using your iron mines, and they're going to run out. You're going to be building more mines. So let's do 150. Okay, so firewood we cannot bring in. Is there anything else we have, just way too much of? That's venison. We could store some fish in there to trade fish for other foods just to add more variety to our diet if they arrive. So let's do that. Let's put 1,000 fish in there. That'll give our trader lots of work to do. Anyway, we're dealing with nomads. 14 nomads have arrived. It's kind of fun to catch them before the warning comes up, so you can see them moving in from wherever they arrived from. They may have come through from over here. You see this long procession of them making their way around and through town and coming up to missed it, up to our townhouse, our town hall. So we've got our nomads. It's kind of hard to see them. Probably should take some trees out of this area. They're all wearing kind of drab browns and grays until they become citizens. Do we want them as our citizens? This does supplement our lack of growing our houses, so it will definitely guarantee. Of course, we probably have no worries from here on out of ever running out of citizens. You wait long enough, there will be another nomad invasion. Eventually, it does feel like an invasion. You get into, I think it comes as a certain percentage of your population. So if you've got 200 or 300, suddenly you've got 50 nomads showing up. What are you going to do with 50 more people? 14, I think, is manageable. 14 is probably 3 or 4 families plus kids. So this should still handle everyone. I'm trying to think if there's a limit. There's a lot of lines there. I don't know if all those are valid. Let's go ahead and say yes. In fact, let's do this. We will allow, turn it on, and everybody does list here. Okay. So we were at 44 adults, maybe 46. I don't remember now. Most of those were adults. 2 kids, 2 kids, and so 5 of them were kids. 9 were adults. And of the kids, now there are some that missed the school age wave. I can't go to this person. I can. Labor, education. Where's education? Educated? No. Okay, so we've now got some uneducated people in town. So we could go to graphs and look at, is an education one of these? I thought it was. Production. Production. Oh, there we go. What was that? That was another merchant. Overview. Inventory. Graphs. Nomads. Trade. So graphs. I thought education was in here. I guess just student. So. Huh. I must be missing it, because I sure remember there being a way to see your education over the years. Oh well. So we'll take that down to 5 years and go back to food. Keep thinking I'm going to look through here and suddenly there it's going to be, but no. Citizens. Education. There it is. Okay, so if we span that out over 10 years, 50 years. So let's go to 25. There we go. So we started off with educated people. We didn't get a school built maybe till around here. We started getting some spikes, and pretty soon we're mostly educated. Then we dropped down to our first nomad or migrant wave. And we probably never really got that back up before the next one comes in. That's, I think, what we're seeing there. Okay, so venison, let's go by name again so we can find them easier. And that's the town hall. Alright, so we just got a big surge of labor. Food has dropped back below 10, or down to 10, which is probably what our gatherers are doing. So I'm thinking it's time to make this one an official gatherer's hut. So let's turn off cutting and turn on three gatherers there. And let's go ahead and up our hunters. And we'll take that back. So we can fit 4, let's see, hunters. 4 out of 4. Okay. So we need to get a couple more houses over here. Now this market does not influence them. And I'm hesitant to put another market over here when this really isn't going to be much of a community. It may eventually be. But what have we got in the way of jobs here? Forester's Lodge. We're going to... You know, I forgot about that. The forester down here, once this is planted, you can probably take it down to one person. So one... Let's do that. 1 of 1 works here. The other 1 of 1 will work here. Alright, so 1 job there, 2 jobs there, 3 jobs there. That's 6 people. We have 6 people. Plus a fisherman, which could come out of here. So I think what we need to do is add another row of houses here. Once we have some logs. So we need a row of houses here. This market, let's keep this one stacked as well behind there. So we can see both of our market circles at all times. Okay, let's turn this back on. We've got nomads living in here. They're going to be filling up their inventories with probably a much larger quantity of the same items as than you would find in a normal house. Still looking for firewood. So we're still looking for logs. We did get all of our houses built, so there are no other construction projects now except this Forester's Lodge. It takes 32 logs and we've got none. So we're going to have to cut out one more swath of forest somewhere. So let's go ahead and take out everything inside of this circle, because everything inside is going to get replanted. We'll do something like that. We're not going to depend on food out of here. Not going to depend on medicine out of here. Or deer. So eventually we're going to plant... We're going to, put housing in here. So let's pull out the trees that will be affected early. What else can we do for a source of logs? That's obvious. We'd like to be able to see the nomads better, so let's not do all of them, but let's take out, like that. We'll leave a couple trees around the town hall. Okay, so there's a big surge of logs. And we'll grab some randomly in different places. As long as there's more trees around, they'll replant on their own. Kind of like that. So that should be more than enough logs to turn the Forester's Lodge back on. Before it gets forgotten and all those logs become firewood. So you were dropping off to here. Let's go ahead and prioritize this too. Telling folks that's the next project, let's get to work on it. You guys are just bringing to the stockpile? Yeah, you're adding to the stockpile. And you're taking away. Huh. I bet you are a woodcutter. Woodcutter, and you're coming out here to get the logs because there are no logs over here. Aha, oh, there are a few. Did I miss something? I bet you I did. Was there a trader sitting in there all this time and then they gave up on me? Did I miss one? I don't know now. Huh. I've never seen a trader pass us by before. Okay, they managed to find some firewood. Laborer has died of old age. There's still 14 laborers. Alright, so builders, we have more than we need. Farmers, let's throw in one more farmer. In fact, this one's going to have some problems too. We need to ensure that the food is coming in. So let's go ahead and throw in another farmer. How about the trees? I've never stopped to see if we're getting all of our yield in. If we made the orchards the right size. Let's go ahead and boost these 3 up. As these farmers get done, they should just drop right into these spaces. Other farmers should drop into these and help them out. Another laborer has died. So, farmer, herdsmen were fine. I don't know if there's any way to really measure. Here you can measure that you don't have enough. 21 out of 22. I suppose if we get 30 out of 22, then we'll know that we're not able to keep up with the workload. Maybe that's how we'll measure. It may also be that 2 instead of 1 would bring in a lot more wool each year. But we're still way beyond the amount of wool that we can handle. In fact, I wonder if it wouldn't be worth it. Oh, wait. Logs are low, so 222 wool. 0 leather. 0 leather. There was a huge amount of leather at one time. $3,000 venison. We know that deer have been hunted. Why is there no leather? There was as much leather as wool long ago. Wow. Warm coats, 21. I don't know what to make of that. But let's go ahead and max out our hunters. And let's see. I was going to say I want another house now for this area. Let's put it right here. We do have enough logs to quickly throw up a house. Now, one thing to keep in mind, a stone house, though it takes more logs to build it, will use less firewood over its lifetime. So let's go ahead and do a stone house right here. That'll supply the fisherman's hut and maybe one job out over here. So, stone house. Nope. No buildable land out over here. Get one right there. We'll do that. Get another one right there. We could get one in this area. We'll do those 2 for now. And let's remember what we're doing. Logs are low. Let's see. Our farmers are not farming, so they're laboring, so I assume these are mostly farmers out here. It would be nice to get some logs back into where they belong. We built this log cutter because we were going to be logging. You know, I may not have a choice. I mean, the idea seemed... What is this? Trader died. Okay. This is the... Did we build this? Is that what happened? We built it. And this employee moved over here. Ah, so we get a third one in there. But what I'm wondering is... Okay, let's do this. Was there an advantage to not cutting these trees? That's really what I need to know. So, history-wise, the previous season saw 500 berries, and now only... Oh, now 900 berries. They're in different order. 700 onions and 300 onions. 500 to 700, 400, 400. Except for the berries, well, there's an increase in part of it and a decrease in others. The trees are getting old and will die off anyway. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I've heard so many different ways of accomplishing it, but I'm not seeing the stark results that I expected to validate that if you leave a forest without any cutting, that you're going to have these huge quantities of extra goods come out of them. So let's go ahead and turn our cutting back on. We've got a lot of laborers, so let's see, I want to grab this forester. Where are you? You're here. I'm going to put you down at the bottom of the screen. Okay. So let's go ahead and add a second forester to each one. One more. Add one. Should have a total of 6 when we're done. There we go. So 2 in each. Still have 8 laborers going on. This one's actually going to need 4. So a couple of houses over here would be wise. We have logs in the system, as well as iron and stone. So let's put a couple of houses over here. I'm going to go ahead and put them right near the forester. Make it efficient. We'll kick this one back a little bit to get some distance. And we'll even throw an extra road right there, kind of widen it up. Logs are low. Need to get this replanted. These are all the trees that had been babies when the parent trees were cut out. And this guy is going to... Well, he's going to cut and plant. And he'll keep up with it as they mature. He'll cut them down. Alright, so with that, we're going to have logs starting to flow back into the woodcutter over there. Traders coming in. We have logs going to be formed out of here and dropped off here, I'm assuming. I'm wondering if we should get another woodcutter over here. But let's see what our trader has for us, and then I think we need to call it an episode. So trade, more chickens. Nope, not going to do that. So you can be on your way. And when we get back, we'll think more about this. So, please hit the like and subscribe down below, and thanks for watching. This has been Noble Rambler. Bye-bye.